The problem with you is you're whining like a little fucking baby.
What's going on, everyone? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, and I am back for another episode of Ask Papa Swolio. And right now, two things. I'm on the porch, and I'm wearing a shirt. The shock, the horror, I'm wearing a shirt. I hope you enjoy this new look. We are going to get into today's episode. I want to jump right into some questions, and I felt like changing the scenery up a little bit. As long as I get your questions answered, I don't think you will care. But remember, if you want your question featured right here on Ask Papa Swolio, just drop your question down in the comments below with the hashtag AskPapaSwolio, and I would love to feature your question. And for those of you that have asked your questions before, try to keep them short, specific, concise, and don't be disappointed if I don't get to yours right away, because I do go back to previous episodes and pick questions I have not yet gotten to. So keep on asking your questions, and I'll keep on doing my best to answer as many as I can. First question of this episode is from Wes. Papa Swolio, I just noticed the earrings. How long did you have them for? And do you have other piercings too? I've had these earrings or these piercings for, I would say, about 13 years, and no, I don't have any other piercings. Sorry. I've been told to get nipple piercings, but nipple piercings on a dude? Not convinced this for me. Next question from YouTube, Christian Boucher. Papa Swolio, I intermittent fast. How do you feel about weightlifting during fasting? It's totally fine. You will be a little bit awkward, or you might get dizzy or lightheaded if you're not used to training on an empty stomach at the beginning, but that's normal. That's part of the process. So if you are not used to training on an empty stomach, it might feel a little bit weird at first, but you'll adapt to it. It's same thing if you're used to working out in the afternoon or evening and you start training in the morning first thing. Even if you eat, it could still be just a little bit weird at first. It's just a change of environment, and your body has to get used to putting out that kind of effort and that kind of strain on an empty stomach and getting the energy resources it needs and just getting used to it and just adapting. I don't like eating before I train. If I do, it's something like a sweet potato half an hour or an hour before, but it doesn't fill me up. I'm not eating a big bulking meal, but some people like to eat a bigger meal. My recommendation for most people is to train on as much of an empty stomach as possible. So if you're eating before, try to give yourself enough time, an hour or two, to digest before your training session. Question from Anna L.A. Papa Swolio, explain deload week and how it applies to non-competitors. By the way, you kick ass. Thank you. Well, thank you. I appreciate the support, Anna. Deloading week is the process of putting less stress on your body. When you're doing resistance training, you are putting an external force, an external resistance, and you're creating an internal tension to overcome that. So when you are lifting a weight, pushing it off your chest, or squatting from the depths, you are overcoming that external force with your internal tension that you create. Now, over the course of time, when you are providing your body or you're creating a lot of internal tension, you can understand how that can be overloading on the body, which is good. That's what your body adapts to. That's how it stimulates breakdown and those micro tears that your body will have to adapt to and build more muscle mass and increase the size and the cross-sectional area of those muscle fibers. But if you do not give your body ample time to repair, and a lot of times during heavy resistance training and heavy resistance splits, you are chronically breaking down your muscles. So it can get to the point where you're chronically breaking down but never fully recovering. So a deload week is a period, whether it's a week or two, depending on how long you've been training hard for. It's a period in which you decrease the intensity. So if you're doing high intensity cardio, you will back off your cardio training at that level of intensity, at that heart rate output, for example, for a period of a couple weeks. Same thing with resistance training. That's why yoga is so effective. It helps you recover more during your actual programming. So a deload week for the average person would be a week where you bias more towards yoga. You drop the weight. You don't go quite to failure. You do maybe total body workouts and stabilization workouts and mobility workouts rather than heavy bench pressing, heavy squatting. So it gives your body a time or a chance to recuperate and to rebuild and to repair, and then allowing you thus in the future to ramp back up to your high intense training and see more progress overall. Because if you keep on pushing it and redlining all the time, eventually something's going to break. Next question from Aspire. One of my favorite channels. Thank you for all the info. You're very welcome. Papa Swolio, what do you think of doing cardio 5 times a week? For that extra good burn, or am I just fatiguing myself long term? That all depends on your goals, why you're doing cardio 5 times a week, what type of cardio you're doing, the intensity of that cardio. Are you doing resistance training as well? And really it comes down to what's the purpose of doing cardio 5 days a week? I warm up when I go to the gym. I warm up on the step mill for about 10 to 15 minutes just to get my heart rate up, and then I do some more specific warm-ups. But if you're doing intense cardio, for weight loss, it's not necessary to do cardio 5 days a week. It's not necessary to do cardio any days of the week. I do recommend cardiovascular activity because it's good for all parts of the body. It's good for a warm-up. It's good for your heart. I don't think there's anything that you should completely ignore, but a lot of people really bias their training and their approach way too much towards cardio and not enough towards strength training, mobility, yoga, and those types of active recovery. So I would say, just in general, that you're probably just fatiguing yourself long term. You're going to hit that point where you're just not really seeing that much more benefit from doing cardio that often. I would back it off a little bit, and if you're not doing yoga or mobility yet, add those aspects of active recovery and see how you feel. Next question from Amanda Luisa. Papa Swolio, I've lost 30 pounds, but I am struggling to find the self-discipline to lose the last 10 pounds. What is your advice? P.S. I found you from the Brittany Dawn scandal, and I'm so glad I did. Thank you for being honest. You're very welcome. So you've lost 30 pounds. I don't know what the time frame that is, but congratulations, that's great. But you're struggling to find the self-discipline to lose the last 10. I don't understand why you are struggling to find the self-discipline. You've lost 30 pounds. Just keep on doing what you've already been doing to lose the 30 pounds. You didn't say that you've hit a plateau, but you're struggling to find the self-discipline. Does that mean your consistency, you want to cheat, or you're starting to cheat? If that's what you mean by self-discipline, it could be because you still haven't locked down your diet properly. Maybe you're still eating inflammatory foods, or you're not getting the full caloric value, the full nutritional value, all the micronutrients, and maybe you're just getting some more cravings than you should be. So I would say go back to your nutrition. Remember that food is a tool, food is function, food is fuel. It's not entertainment. And self-discipline, if you've lost 30 pounds already, you've built that self-discipline. Just don't give yourself reasons, excuses. It's up to you. So no one's going to do it for you. If you really want to lose the last 10 pounds, try to go back to the foundation and remember why you want to lose those 10 pounds. Why is losing those 10 pounds important to you? Why? It's just 10 pounds. After that, then what? Are you going to be satisfied? You lost 10 pounds. The number is 10 less on the scale. What does that offer you that you don't have right now? Don't go by the scale. Don't find satisfaction, and don't invest all your results and your glory and your success in the number, because they'll betray you. The number won't make you happy. After you lose 10 pounds, what's your goal then? What if you go back up another pound after you reach that number? Then you're going to be disappointed. You're going to feel like a failure. Don't wrap up your results in a number. It's more about how you feel, how you look, your body composition, your performance. Those things are more important markers than a number on a scale. That's just a one-dimensional way to look at it. Question from Joanna. Hi, Papa Swolio. Hi, Joanna. Gorgeous hair. Oh, why, thank you so much. I'm about starting to cut, so I cut my calories down. However, I feel like I cannot lift as heavy as before. Is it normal or anything that I can do? It's totally normal. You're getting in less calories. You're consuming less food. So you're getting in less energy. Your body knows, as a result of you consuming less energy, it knows it has less energy to go around. So it will start to conserve energy. And that's a very basic way to think about it. But if you're giving your body less fuel, your body has less to spare. And that's how your body thinks. And your body doesn't necessarily think, your body reacts. So your body reacts to the situation. So by giving yourself less fuel, your body is in more of a defensive mode. Your body is always reactive to what you do to it. It's always reactive and adaptive. But because you're giving your body less calories, your body is going to react by kind of pulling everything back. So you're in a deficit, which is going to make it harder to produce strength. So that's completely normal. Is there anything you can do about it? You can consume more calories and focus more on strength training. There's a reason why people that do powerlifting, they don't restrict their calories. They're not lean and shredded, they're more bulky, right? They have usually a caloric excess because of that type of overload, that type of stress on the body. I would focus on what's most important to you. You can't be pulling yourself in completely different directions. So if you're trying to cut, then focus on cutting. You can keep your protein and make sure you're getting enough protein, getting enough healthy fats, and still training hard and training for strength. But if you're trying to cut down, strength is one of those things that will go when you cut down size. So you have to figure out what's most important to you, the strength or the size. Question from Mickey Maxey. Papa Swolio, I have a chronic illness and have had 9 surgeries in 2 years. I gained a ton of weight while recovering, and I was never really fit to begin with. My doctors are telling me that I'm cleared to start exercising, but I'm not sure how to start. What would you recommend for someone like me who needs to start slow? Damn. Great question, and a lot of people are in this situation coming back from an injury, especially if you've never really been in great shape before. You're kind of even a step further behind because not only were you injured and you had surgeries, you are also trying to learn how your body moves again, because after those surgeries, your body has to kind of relearn and remap just regular movements. I would recommend starting with yoga. I would recommend starting with a stabilization training program, total body workouts. Don't worry about how many reps you're doing. Start light. Don't go quite to failure. Learn the basics. Learn proper form. That's why I really do recommend. That's why I created Swolenormous X, my private training platform. If you're interested, the link is in the description down below. You can check it out, swolenormousx.com. And this is not just a shameless plug. It's a proud plug because I've created a training platform that is designed for all levels. Whether you're advanced or you're a beginner, never trained, my programming is all revolved around resistance training with active recovery, mobility, full yoga studio, proper nutrition approach. Everything starts with the fundamentals and helps build back up. So if you've been training for years and you need to fix your basics and you're trying to get past a plateau, Swolenormous X is for you. And for someone like yourself, if you have never worked out before and you're trying to come back from an injury and learn how your body moves and start the right way with a proper form and great support, I would highly recommend Swolenormous X. And rather than sit here and say, hey, go Google things and go check this out, I don't know everything that's out there. Of course, there are thousands of things out there. That's why I make these videos. That's why I do what I do, because I wanted to put the best content in one place. I couldn't speak more highly of Swolenormous X. And if anyone else is watching this and you're a Swolenormous X member, drop it down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your feedback. It's just really important to start with that foundation. Even if you don't want to join, totally cool. I would recommend starting with yoga. It's zero impact. It will help you activate muscles that have never really turned on before. It'll help you learn about both sides of your body, how your body moves. It will brace and target those stabilizer muscles. It'll help you improve your mobility and create that balance, which is great after surgeries and after immobility. And it's a great place to start getting your muscles woken up and, with the foundation of posture. So that first, and you could always go to a local gym and start with a personal trainer to help guide you through and have someone in person there at the gym as you start with your strength training. But that is my recommendation. It's very, very simple. You just have to start slow. Start slow and remember that this is for the rest of your life and you don't want to jump in the deep end of the pool. You want to learn properly and progress slowly. Next question from Jessica Medina. Papa Swolio, is body recomposition really possible? How can I achieve it? I've been working to lose fat, but I am starting to lose muscle. I want to lose fat, but build muscle or at minimum maintain my muscle. My first question about your question is, how do you know that you are losing fat and losing muscle? I mean, are you doing really specific high-level calipers every single week? Are you doing DEXA scans and underwater weighing? A lot of people think they're losing muscle when they're not losing muscle. People think they're losing fat when they're not losing fat, they're losing water. There are a lot of things that you will perceive just by looking in the mirror or using a tape measure or using one of those handheld things. Depends on how you're measuring. So anytime someone throws around body fat numbers, body fat percentages, I'm losing this, I'm doing this, there has to be this reliability, there has to be consistency in how it's measured, and the way one person measures is gonna be different than another person measures. If you're not measuring in exactly the same place, if you're not taking your picture with exactly the same lighting, exactly the same clothes, exactly the same distance, all these things, same time of day, even with the underwater weighing, even with the DEXA scans, all these different methods, there's always a period of error. My first response to anyone that's talking about body fat, it's like, why do you care? Why are you getting so wrapped up in the numbers? And I'm not saying that it's a bad measurement of health. It's a measurement, it's one measurement, but it's not the be all end all. If you're 10% body fat, it doesn't make you more healthy than 14%. If we're talking 30% body fat versus 15%, that's a different conversation. But if you're talking in a specific range, it depends person to person. I am more concerned with what food choices you're making. I'm more concerned with how your training consistency is. I'm more concerned with your psychological approach to your nutrition and your training. So when someone asks me a question like that, I get more concerned about where their mindset is in pursuing that, because I feel like that has so many more long-term consequences that could potentially be catastrophic down the road if you're always chasing numbers. So that's the first thing I always want to dig up. If this doesn't directly answer your question, I want you to answer this question for yourself. Why does that matter to you? Why are you trying to recomp? Why are you looking to micromanage your caloric intake and get so granular with everything? If you're eating properly and you're getting in quality nutrients and you're doing resistance training, your meditation, your yoga, you are going to build muscle and you're going to lose that extra water weight and body fat. You don't have to micromanage and splice hairs when it comes to your nutrition, because that's going to be so much harder to stick to and be accurate. Recomposition is very challenging. Anything is possible, but for some people, recomposition is just not a viable solution or an option. It's just not possible for some people based on lifestyle or approach. So my general recommendation is either you're going to cut body weight and cut body fat by going in a slight caloric deficit, or you're going to gain and build with either a maintenance level or a slight caloric surplus. And my recommendation is whatever you do, surplus or deficit, if you keep it smaller, you don't have to do anything drastic like 1,000 calories a day. As long as you keep those deficit or surpluses small, you can incrementally adjust. You'll be more dynamic. You won't make any massive errors unless you're just doing like dirty bulking or extreme caloric deficits like 1,000 calorie crash diets, which are terrible for you. So as long as you keep it within a moderate range, then you can monitor and see how you adjust and react. A recomposition is generally making sure that you're in a positive nitrogen balance and consuming enough protein while you're in a slight caloric deficit. But again, foods have different caloric values and nutritional values once you cook them versus when they're raw, and it's just a life of measuring, weighing, counting, and for me, that's just, I'm just miserable talking about it. Question from Cassie Ann. Papa Swolio, I work 50 hours a week and I am a full-time student and I have a 3-year-old. Damn. I also sit in traffic a minimum of 3 hours a day. What do you suggest to help me get in a daily workout? I feel like I have 0 time, but I know more time working out will help me push past my plateau. You know, there are excuses and there are actual situations when you are just, burning the candle at both ends. And Cassie, you're pushing it. I mean, you really don't have time. You're a very, very busy person. However, you need to prioritize yourself first. And I know you have a 3-year-old, and I know you're a full-time student. I know you have work. But if you can dig deep down and prioritize your fitness number one, get up a little bit earlier and get your fitness in first, whether it's a 15-minute workout before you shower, before you go to work or go to school, whether you do a meditation or a little bit of a yoga flow first thing in the morning. For example, it's one of the reasons why for my members in Swolenormous X, I have Swollen 7 mobility workouts, 7-minute mobility workouts, and also my Swolga classes, which are the yoga class that I teach, Swole Yoga, get it? I keep them about 20 to 30 minutes because not everyone has 60 plus minutes for a full yoga class. So we have those too, but it's very important that you understand that you can manipulate your fitness to fix your lifestyle. However, you also have to fit your lifestyle to match your fitness. And remember that you have a 3-year-old. It's great to learn and be a full-time student and you need to work to pay the bills. I get it. However, you need to be healthy so you can guide, teach, and be there for your child. And this might seem overwhelming in the short term, but it's going to pay off when you are able to run around, when you are healthy, when you don't have diabetes, when you don't have heart disease, when you don't have metabolic syndrome, when you don't have these issues when you're much older. It's going to come back and haunt you. So as much as you might feel like you don't have time for fitness, you have to make the time for fitness. Fitness has to be synonymous and congruent and intertwined with your daily lifestyle, because otherwise you're going to pay for it and it's not something that you can catch up with as easily as you get older. Whatever you can do, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, bottom line, I would recommend doing 15 minutes a day rather than an hour twice a week. Be more consistent. Do something every single day for 10 minutes and then push it to 15 and then 20 and do something at home. Make it convenient for yourself, but get on that routine that you can be consistent and consistently outputting physical activity on a daily basis. And I would highly recommend checking out a meditation app in the App Store. You can start with guided meditation. I think just based on what you told me, you're probably really stressed out with traffic and all these things. It'll benefit you a lot to get your brain under training as well. It'll help you manage your stress and mitigate those issues from stress, from being in traffic, dealing with a 3-year-old, being at work and school and feeling like you're stretched thin. It'll really help you mitigate those kinds of stresses and hormones as a result of that, like cortisol elevation from that stress. If you can psychologically start, building open your mind up as well. Well, thank you everyone so much for joining me for this episode of Ask Papa Swolio. Remember, if you want to be featured here on the show, just drop your question in the comments down below with the hashtag AskPapaSwolio, and I will get to it in an upcoming episode. Thank you so much for enjoying the shirt. If you like the shirt, drop in the comments below. If you don't like the shirt, drop in the comments below. If you like the beard, drop in the comments below. If you don't like the beard. But just trying something new, and as always, I'm going to be putting out a ton of content right here on the channel. So make sure if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe so you don't miss a single post, and hit that bell. And also like this video, and I want to hear from you, so drop your thoughts down in the comments down below. Thanks again for watching. Peace out.
Click the link, motherfucker! Click the link! Click the link! Watch another video, like and subscribe. I know you want to. You know you want to. Come on, everyone knows you want to. You love Papa Swolio. You love the man bun. You love the sick bugging gains. You love it. Oh, oh, oh. You love it. Oh, 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 oh.